So we always like to teach you why. Why do you want to use an ATM? So let's give you a reason why. Okay, so... Oh, sorry. You have a choice. When you go to someone's home, you have a choice. There are two systems. There's one system called the client system, the sales system, and there's another system called our system, the ATM system. Okay? So if you don't do the ATM, and especially if you don't do the ATM properly, then you're opting for the client sales system. You know what the client sales system is?
It's for you to get out of there.
I'll show you. Yeah. They're really nice to you. They suck you in. They're your friends. You think, oh, this is going so good. I love these people.
Happening.
I love these people.
We're really bonding. We're connecting.
And then they tell you what you want to hear. And then they steal your rates. And then their close is, I want to think about it.
Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm.
So that's the client system.
But you feel so good you're going to get it next week because they're nice to you and they like you.
Mm-hmm. We'll call you when we're ready.
Mm-hmm.
We'll call you when we have the money.
Mm-hmm.
We'll call you. We got to think about it. And, we never want to make a big decision. We got to sleep on any big decisions. It's all this. How many of y'all have been sucked into the client system? Anybody? Okay. So your choice is, do I follow the client system or do I want to use my system? And my system, the ATM system, leads to a protected family. Okay, but not every family is going to be a protected family. But the ones that deserve to be protected are the ones that will be protected. Okay? Because when you go on an appointment, you're not going to close everyone, nor do you. That's not the whole idea. Is not to close 100%. If you close 100%, you're arm twisting people, and you're going to have people that are going to cancel on you. So the idea is not to close 100%. The idea is to close 100% of the people that deserve to be your client. Really, kind of, you're thinking that you got to sell them a policy. This whole process is you qualifying that they deserve to be your client, right? You see, that's kind of a different mentality, right? Mm-hmm. Every time you're talking to them, it's like, they deserve my time. Do they deserve me staying here longer? Do they deserve me coming back and servicing them every year? Do they deserve me caring about them? See, people on this side, you think the objective is to get them to like you. Man, people buy from people they like. No, people say, think about it to people they like. Your objective is not to be their friend. They don't deserve friendship yet until they protect your family. Seriously, I don't want to be a friend to someone who doesn't want to protect their family. That's not my friend. My friends are people that care about their families. Can I hear an amen on that?
Amen. That's right. Woo!
So here's the thing. You got to be bold. You got to be bolder than you think you can be. You can always go further than you think you can. I promise you. We call it a thimble full of boldness. What the A-Team will do is give you a platform to use so that you can work the client through the questions you're supposed to ask. Okay? Gives you the opportunity to ask all the questions in the right order, in the right sequence, so that it goes through the whole process of finding out at the end, are they going to protect their family? Do they deserve my friendship? Right? Okay, so that's the whole objective, to make sure that, we put this in the proper context. Will you make money with this? Yes. But it's not designed really for that. It's really designed to qualify the patient, you're the doctor, okay, that they deserve to be protected, they deserve to be your client. Okay? And it's a great process. Now, we can go over all kinds of things. I don't want to take too much time, but I'm going to lay out my process. And if you want to go into the whole 2.5-hour video, it's just look my name up and then ATM. Okay, so I have an ATM video that's gotten a ton of hits. I mean, I've got people all over the country watching it, and I hear it every time I go to like a hotspot. They tell me, they go, oh, Alex, I wasn't closing, but then I watched your video and then I closed. I'm closing now. It's like, God, that is just so weird to think that people say that, and it's like, I mean, it's out there for everyone to see, and anyone from even outside our business. I'm sure they probably benefit from it too. Other insurance agents. I actually don't care, but it just never ceases to amaze me when people tell me that. I'm going, really? I'm just so surprised sometimes.
Chris has been watching them. He's been telling me the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you kind of know the deal. But it's not enough just to watch it. You got to practice it. You got to put it into practice. So the reason why I like this process is that it allows you to self-coach. If you knew what you're supposed to accomplish at every step along the process, then you will know why you didn't close the sale. That's the whole purpose of the way that I teach this ATM. And in fact, I had my input on this, and I needed to put my stuff in here because I didn't want to change the way I was teaching. And so Justin Tripp sent this to me, and so I added a number of slides in here, and I told him this needs to be here. He goes, okay. Wow. And this needs to be here. Okay. And this, I've probably about 4 slides, important slides that need to be in here, are in here. And not that I'm taking credit, it's just that I was lazy, and I didn't want to have to change the way I taught this. Okay, so let me explain to you kind of the phases of the process so that you know what you're trying to accomplish with the slides. You might think it's, the thing I'm trying to accomplish is I'm just flipping the slide. No, it's not just about flipping slides and reading the words. You got to know when to hold
I was thinking that.
know when to walk away. This is for our friends in Nashville. Anyway, it's like, man, it's not about flipping charts and reading words, baby. It's about following the process. You got to know what you're trying to accomplish. Okay, that's the biggest thing with this. The words that come out of your mouth will come out because you're trying to get something done, right? You're not trying to memorize something. Okay, I had a guy that said, well, I'll teach my guys how to memorize a 3-hour presentation. Seriously? Okay, how's that working out? Well, some make sales and some don't.
Oh, really?
Why? I don't know. Some memorize it better than others. Oh my God. Okay, so every slide has a purpose, but unless you know what the slides are there for in the groups that they're in, then you'll never accomplish what you're really supposed to accomplish. And it's a 5-step process. I'm not going to go into every single one. I'm going to go into the ones that are very important, that will probably mean 80% of closing. Okay.
80% you said, probably?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 5 steps. And the way this works is you go from step 1 to step 2, step 2 to step 3, step 3 to step 4, step 4 to step 5. And you're not allowed to go to the next step unless you accomplish everything that you're supposed to accomplish in the first step. You don't finish everything here, then you're not allowed to go forward because you have to close every compartment. And this is like a submarine. Okay, so Kyle Cater really gets this analogy. See, you don't call them submariners. Submariners. They're submariners. We all live in a yellow submarine. Okay, so I don't have enough for a periscope, but let's just say the periscope is down. All right. A submarine has bulkheads, so like you can seal each compartment off. So if you take a hit in this compartment, it fills with water. All those guys are dead. But and we hope they have life insurance. Maybe. But these still have air, so these people are still alive because it's all sealed off. Those dead bodies are floating around. Okay, but they're compartments. So you close it. By the time you get everything accomplished in the 5 steps, you made what I call a righteous sale. What's a righteous sale? A righteous sale involves these 5 things. So these are 5 characteristics of a righteous sale. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. The client trusts you. They believe you. They need it. They want it. And they can afford it. Okay? If you think about any time you didn't close, it's because something did not happen here. They didn't trust you. They didn't believe you. They really didn't need it. And if they needed it, maybe they really didn't want it. There's like a difference. And then the whole idea, can they afford it? If you look at any time you didn't close, it's because of one of these 5 things. Now, where do you accomplish these? Well, let's define these compartments. So the first compartment is bond and rapport. You need to get this done. Nothing happens until you get bond and rapport done. So what happens? What's the objective of bond and rapport?
To build trust.
To build trust so that they will believe you. Have you ever believed someone you didn't trust?
No.
Right. So you got to get that part done. The only way you can do that is through bond and rapport. Okay? Not the fakey bond and rapport. Not the fake stuff like, oh, you must like Dale Earnhardt. You know, and you see Dale Earnhardt stuff all over the place. You're like, gee. Or, you know, their lawn's got weeds in it. It's turning yellow. What a nice yard you have.
Oh,
you know?
gosh.
It's like you're lying to them, right? So, bond and rapport takes care of number 1 and 2. Okay, the second step is finding the pain. Finding why you're there. Okay? What you're trying to accomplish with pain, do they need it? All right? Do they need it? The third part is we call the Upfront Contract. And basically what this is you tell them what's going to happen next. Okay, this is that slide. I'm gonna attach the slides that go into each of these phases. But basically what the Upfront Contract is once you find the pain, you're going to tell them, that's why I'm here. I'm going to take care of that. Make sure, Joe, that never happens to Mary. That Mary and the kids are going to stay in their house because that you told me that that's what you want. So let me tell you what happens next. So you're going to tell them, if you want what you said you want, I'm going to lay this out for you, and you're going to freaking fill out an application. You are going to commit to a draft. You're going to find the price that fits, and it's done. And it is done. It better be done here.
You say that.
I say it nicely.
Yeah, use the word for it.
Yeah. But you'll hear how I say that. And this is where you establish, do they want it? This is your clue. Do they want the policy? Do they really want it? They might need it, but do they really want it? Based on the parameters that you've laid out. Because tonight's not a think about it night. When you go over here, this is to pick up a check. It's not to think about it. No one's thinking about nothing. Okay? Like, you're not going to walk out of there with that think about it. Right? Because that's not good enough reason. Like, it's okay to tell me no. It's okay to tell me that you don't like me. It's okay to tell me to get the heck out of your house, but it's not okay to tell me you want to think about it, because that's not a good reason to not to protect your family. Give me a better reason to leave that involves you not wanting to protect your family. That's the mindset you got to have. If you don't have it, then you're subject to letting the client screw with you, mess with you, and then you become like that puppy dog that wants that check. And you totally lost your whole self-respect.
I need a couple of days.
Was that?
I need a couple of days.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I got to come back to that too. So, this is where we we call it fulfill the expectations. Okay, they expect me to come up with some options for them that they can afford, right? And so this is where I lay out pricing. All right, and this is where we do the afford part. Then the last part is the post-sale. And this is where you lock the sucker down. That's why that last slide is in there. Okay, this is where you get everything done. Here is where you just tie everything up. Nothing happens until you sell it at the end. You haven't made a sale until you lock that down. So let's kind of talk about where these are in the process. So when you are doing the first part of the ATM, the bond rapport, okay, that's everything related to this first slide, this about me slide, the picture slide with your license, the companies. Okay, you're trying to gain credibility, trust that we know what we're doing because we've got all these companies backing us up. Okay, and then this is where we find out about them. And then this starts the transition into the pain process. And the pain process is this slide that transitions into the what if, right? Okay? And this is the pain part. And then you explain mortgage protection. What is mortgage protection? All right? With what we're going to do to help them solve their pain. And then we're going to do the what happens next is the upfront contract. We're going to tell them what's going down. This is what's going down. Now, I'm the position of power. I'm the doctor. You told me what's wrong with you. Doctor hurts when I do this. Then I'm going to prescribe everything they need to get it done. Like, do you ever tell your doctor when he prescribes something for you, says, Taz, I think this is what's wrong with you. We're going to do a course of treatment. Okay, do you ever say you want to think about it? No. Well, doctor, let me think about it. Doctor, I want to think about it. Hold on, let me think about it. You know what? I'm going to talk to a couple other doctors, and I'm going to see which one's going to offer me the best treatment package.
Sleep on it before we take their prescription.
Oh my gosh, seriously? If you don't got that relationship with your patient, it's true, man. If you don't got that relationship with your patient, then you aren't the doctor, right? Okay, so that's the upfront contract. You're going to tell them what's happening next, and then this is where you do the prices, that whole dynamic there. And then the post sell, after you get through all these other slides, the post sell part is really this slide here, right here. Final questions. Okay, this is where the post sale stuff happens. All right. Now. The biggest part of why people don't close, there's going to be a certain percentage, maybe they can't afford it, but there's always, if you have a health insurance license, there's always an option to go to accidental death. You can do something on a temporary basis. We got so many great accidental policies up to a certain age, so I'm not going to really consider a whole lot of they can't, they afford it, although I do have a good one come back on the budget deal. We don't know if it's in our budget projection. But the biggest reasons are these three areas here. Bond rapport, pain, and upfront contract. 80% of the reason why you don't close a sale. Or more. Okay? And you know what? It takes skill, it takes practice to start developing the skills in the bond and rapport stage. All right? So, okay. I'm going to throw out some concepts to you. I'm not going to, I wish I could go into it deeper, but I really want to drill on some important things, some of the things that you guys were more concerned about, okay? So, bond and rapport. What can you do to get better at bond and rapport? Read bond and rapport books. There you go. How do you like that one?
That's right.
Here's a great book. Okay, this is a neurolinguistic programming book. I'm a big NLP guy. Neurolinguistic programming. It's like a very supreme selling technique It's actually a technique on how to model people that are successful. But there are like ways that your brain works that I like to use. I like to use some of that psychological Jedi Knight stuff. Okay. Now I'm not expecting you to learn the Jedi Knight stuff, but it's all learnable. Like, man, I can control, manipulate people just by knowing how they are, and that's what this technology will do. So I'm not going to say that you got to do that, but some of the things you got to do is read some really good books on bond and rapport. You know, the one here's my favorite one. This is the one that'll get you into the technique without having to understand it. It's a book called How to Get People to Like You in 90 Seconds or Less by a guy called Nicholas Boothman. And you know what this book teaches you? Boothman. How to get people to like you in 90 seconds or less. Okay. All the techniques. It's all technique. Right? It's all technique, man. It's pure and simple. It's technique. Is this your water or mine?
It's yours.
Okay. Did you spit in it?
Maybe. Drink to find out.
No.
This book rocks. This book is not only is it a short book, but it's a small book. It's about like this big.
Is it like the Man Thinketh one? Like,
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
I got that one.
But there's some stuff that are a little bit out there maybe for you guys. But I'll tell you what, you read this book and you will knock this stuff out of the park.
What's his last name again?
Boothman, Bothman.
How did he?
He's a neurolinguistic programming guy, NLP guy.
What's
He
that
breaks-
mean? What's that mean?
Um,
Brain programmer?
Yeah,
Okay. Just checking.
yeah. You see a lot of guys that are hypnotists that are into NLP and stuff. It's really a great way to manipulate people.
Manipulate doesn't have to be a negative thing.
Yeah, it's
People think of it
in a
that
positive
way.
way.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
It's just funny to
people.
hear you say it.
Yeah, people don't do what they don't really want to do.
Yeah.
So based on people not really, you're not going to make someone do something against their morals or principles, okay? But you can get them to do stuff.
We're making them do stuff that's good for them.
So, was that? Yeah, that negative reverse stuff. That's a little bit of it, but this is deeper. But this book is very surface level, so I wouldn't have you read it if I didn't think that you can get stuff out of it quickly. It's like you don't have to understand how gravity works to know that gravity works. Right? It's like this book. You don't got to understand. I don't want you to understand how NLP works. I just want you to do the techniques. Because the techniques rock. Techniques will work. You know, stuff like, okay, so some of the stuff I teach on this, I'm not going to teach it here, is mirror matching.
Yeah.
Okay, your mirror matching body language, and it's beyond body language, okay? Body language is only surface level stuff. Mirror matching, and by the way, Andy knows how to do all this stuff, but he doesn't let people know that he knows how to do this stuff because he doesn't want you knowing his secrets on how he's able to motivate people. And you think I'm kidding.
No, I don't.
And he won't even admit to it. But I've been in his upper room, his office in the pool house where he keeps all this stuff that he reads and he orders, and I've looked through all that stuff, all kinds of NLP stuff in there. Oh my God, he's got all these courses. Like for years he's been done, but he won't tell you. He won't tell you that because he don't want you. He just want to give away his advantage. Right?
Duh.
Mirror matching is probably one of the biggest ones. The body language thing. These are probably one of the most important things regarding bond and rapport. People like people who are like them. So you got to be the most like them as possible without being a caricature of them. Right? So if they speak fast, you speak fast. If they speak slow, you speak slow. The problem is people that speak fast trying to pace with someone who speaks slow. It drives the people who speak fast crazy. But that's how it's supposed to go
Makes
down.
sense.
You got to be like them. Okay? Because if you don't match them and their rate of speech and their tonality, then you might as well be Chinese speaking Chinese to someone who doesn't speak Chinese. You know what I mean? So important. If you don't have this, you're not allowed to move forward. You are not allowed to move forward to the rest of the process to the point where you got to be good at calling timeout. Like, for example, have you ever sat with a couple and you're just like sitting with them, Carolyn, and the wife's like, she doesn't even make eye contact, just like this.
Absolutely.
And then the guy's like really into it, and, you know, you have
That with somebody like that.
you have no permission. You don't have permission to move forward. Like, how stupid is that? That's just the stupidest thing you could ever do, because you know that she's going to pull the rug out from under him. Even if should you make the sale, she's going to be the first one to shut it down, because she's going to have this month-long headache if he doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Nothing good is going to come happen out of that.
True.
So if you have my permission to call a timeout. What's a timeout? A timeout is if you feel it, say it. That's a rule. If you feel something's funky, then say it, call it out. You call a timeout. You're sitting there and it's like she's just totally in la la land, you know. You stop and say, Joe, Mary, can I call a timeout, please? They will be so freaked out. It's called a pattern interrupt. You do a pattern interrupt, they're going, what?
Can I call a timeout?
Can I call a timeout?
Me too.
Flag! Throw a flag!
I'm gonna do that. Like I hate.
I can see you doing that.
Too many negative attitudes on the field. 50 yards.
Sportsmanlike conduct.
Seriously, call timeout and they'll just go, what? Sure. Okay. And then what you've done is you totally pattern interrupted it. Because if it keeps going the way it's going, nothing good's going to happen. So you got to pattern interrupt. You got to break this momentum, right? And if you're like, anybody's played ball or played a game, it's about breaking the other team's momentum if they're on a roll. If they're rolling all over you. Obviously, that's happening here. So you call a timeout, break the momentum, and they go, well, yeah, sure, what? Then I talk to Mary. Now, you say, Mary, I'm getting the feeling like I said something wrong to make you mad. Now, let me break that down. Always never be confrontational. Don't say, Mary, you're mad at me, aren't you? No, I'm not. You know, you're being confrontational. You have to soften. It's called a softening statement. So pattern interrupt, softening statement. Call a timeout. And you can use this formula for almost anything. Call a timeout. Yeah, sure. Mary, I'm getting the feeling. Okay, you're talking about my feeling. See, she can't dispute how you feel. I'm getting a feeling that I must have said something to make you mad at me. Because I really, feel like maybe that you really don't want me here. Is that true? And then you zip your mouth. You don't say another word. You shut up. Because the first person that says something loses. And it's not going to be you. You shut your mouth. I don't care how uncomfortable. I don't care if you're just waiting and you're just kind of waiting for her. You're staring at her and staring at him. And then you're just waiting for an answer. You're in supreme control. Because you don't know what's up with her, then you don't have permission to move forward. You're stuck here. And if that's where it needs to end, then you walk the heck out of there. Take up your stuff. And I've done it. I've done it every step along the way where it didn't go the way I wanted it to. I walked out of there because they don't deserve my time. Right?
I never looked at it like that.
Some of y'all are just so eager to make a sale. It's like, man, they better follow my process. My process leads to them getting covered. Their process leads to me wasting my time and their time. I'm not there to waste my
That's
time.
exactly what's happening.
That is exactly.
So I call timeout.
All of this.
I'm getting the feeling like, then I shut up. And you get all kinds of crazy things.
So, say we do that and an angry customer calls NAA and said, your agent just walked out of our house.
That's never happened to me.
Well, not to you, but what if it happens to us?
Doesn't matter.
What if
We
a
get in
monster
trouble.
comes out of Lake Michigan and swallows all of Chicago?
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, I'm saying it nicely. So remember, everything is done with a nurturing.
So how would you say,
Concept.
okay, I'm going to not waste my time and leave, or how would you
Well,
say that? Because I'm bad at saying stuff.
Yeah, I don't.
She wants to know exactly how to say
Can you be
it.
real explicit on this one for Terry?
Because I am very like.
Here's what I'm giving you. I'm
Hotly
giving
good.
you mindset. You're not saying what you're thinking. Okay.
Right.
You have to have the attitude though, so that you can say the things properly to move the appointment along. You're not trying to make them mad, but you're trying to figure out why she's mad, right? So it's not confrontational. But you're saying, I'm getting the feeling like Tara, I'm getting the feeling like I said something to make you mad. What did I say?
Everything.
Shut up. And then what did she say? Here's what I typically get. Well, I didn't know you were coming. That's what I always get. I get that more than anything else. Well, I didn't know you were coming. You didn't tell me. Oh, man.
She's not mad at you.
Right, she's mad at him. It's like, oh, man, Mary. You know what? I do that to my wife, too. I don't tell her about a lot of stuff. But here's your husband loves you and loves your children. He wanted me to come here because he wanted to make sure that he could protect you in the case that he passes away. And anyone who ever does that is because they love them. And he has me here because he's basically telling you that he loves you. And that's why I'm here. So is that okay?
Very good.
There goes the headache.
Woohoo!
He's the hero. You make him the hero, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, so that's typically the thing is I show up and she didn't think I was coming over. And that's that kind of stuff that goes on.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something that's crazy, like Watt told me we didn't want someone to come over here, some salesman coming over here, and we're like, oh man, he wanted me to come over here because he loves you. He just wanted me to help you get taken care of if he dies. Is that not what you want here? And then if she says, well, no, that's not what I want, whatever, it's like, okay. Well, I guess I can leave. Are we done? Are we done? Yeah, we're done. Okay. Okay, now you got to get bold. Okay, sometimes you got to get bold. So you got to say stuff like, okay, so this is over. It's okay. It's okay. It's over now. Okay, great. So this is where you're still selling, but you're not selling.
Right.
Okay. So you got them, and that's hopefully you're getting here, but then you say like, okay, well if it's over, is it okay if I take my my sales hat off and put my consultant hat on? See, I don't know what you're saying, but it's okay. Yeah, that's all right. Okay, how can I tell you that you're making a big mistake without making you mad at me? Now listen to how I said that. Listen to the question. How can I tell you you're making a big mistake without you getting mad at me? I'm not saying anything. How can I tell you you're making a big mistake without you getting mad at me? Isn't that a weird question?
That's awesome.
It's a weird question, but it's a question. They can't get mad at the question because you're asking them, how can I say it so that you're not mad at me? What do you mean? Well, my job is to take care of you. And then you start selling again. It gives you permission. Like when they ask you a question, it gives you permission to keep selling. Mary, Joe dies, you're going to lose his income, right? Yes. What happens? Tell me what happens in your world. Describe for me what happened. You go after the pain. I go right to the pain. Did I walk out? No. But I got permission to continue on because I asked them this question, right? How can I tell you that you're making a big mistake without you getting mad at me? And you're doing it nurturing. You're nice because you care about them. See, it comes from the position of caring about someone, not to make a sale. Look, if they throw you out, you didn't lose anything you didn't have, right? You're still selling. That's if she. Now, I typically have not had to go that far. I have on several occasions in all my years, and it worked out well. But hear me, that you got to get bolder, okay? But it's not that much more bold. You got to say it in your nice, nurturing way. Okay, but in your head, it's like hardcore, but it's coming out with a nurturing attitude. So you got to kind of balance that. So that is a big thing with. But everything's going well. The juju's good. You're getting through your about me slide where you're asking them the questions. Remember, your job. This ATM is not designed for you to do all the talking. Right? They have to do all the talking. Never tell them anything. Always phrase everything in a question. Excuse me. It's just like Jeopardy. All right? This here is designed for you to find out about them, not for you to tell them about you, exactly what you said. So, hey, I grew up, Joe and Mary grew up, my dad was in the Navy, so we grew up all over the country. Did you guys grow up around here? Oh, you did? See, it allows me to ask them about them. I worked in the defense industry, and I met my wife doing theater. We got married in 1991. How did you guys meet? That's a key question. Let me give you a little bit of behind that question. Okay, that is the most important question if you're sitting down with a couple. How did you two meet each other? See, no matter how their state was because you walk into a house, you don't know what they were doing. They might have been fighting. All of a sudden, the insurance guy shows up. They're still a little bit, Okay, so how you break them out of the state of fighting is to bring them back mentally and emotionally back to a time when they were dating, when they were getting together.
Yeah.
So you ask the question, so tell me, how did you guys meet? Well, we met whatever, right? And you get them laughing. It's like, so who has to go out first? Mm-hmm. Joe, tell me, what line did you use on your wife? Well, she used it on me. Oh, really? What'd she say? You get into the most hilarious conversations sometimes. But what does that do? They remember when they were dating. They remember what it's like when they were courting each other. They remember all the funny stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so you also let into that when you were talking about your wife. I'm not married. How would I just ask it?
I'll just say, yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm kind of curious. You two, how long you guys been married?
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
2 years, 25 years. I met this old couple, 68 and 73. And they've been married on 18 months. I go, rock on, man.
That's cool.
It's very cool. I go, wow, that's cool. The typical story I run into when it happens like that is, how long have you known each other? Well, we knew each other when we were growing up. It's one of those things where their respective spouse passed away, then through Facebook or whatever, they kind of get reconnected. And they were high school sweethearts. They had, been with each other even in kindergarten, something like that. It's the coolest story. And when they start talking about that stuff, the juju is rocking. I'm telling you, if you spend any time in this whole thing, it's right here, and it's right here. This should take probably most of your time in getting the sale done. All the logistics of filling out the forms. I don't know count that. But it's all right in here. You can close the sale right in here. You got to get them to trust you so they'll believe you. Then you transition into the pain, finding why they need it. Okay? This part is so important. You got to find out what happens if. What happens if now it's not good enough in the pain finding process for them to tell you. See, it's going to be the good ones are going to tell you what you want to hear. They're going to say, well, Alex, I really love my wife, and I want to make sure she's protected in case I die. I want her to stay in the home. And in your mind, you're going, woo! I got him to say what I want him to say. But who said it?
He-
She didn't say nothing, did she?
No.
He spoke for her. How many of you ladies like your husband speaking for you?
Not even.
Because we're not talking about what he thinks or feels. I want to know what she thinks and feels. So I go, that's great, Joe. Cool. Awesome, man. Fired up, man. My mind, that's how I'm thinking in my mind. I go, okay.
One down, one to go.
You don't have permission to go on because you're not talking to the person that has the pain. So the conversation shifts to her. Okay, Joe, great. Joe.
Forget you. On to your life.
Your wife's more important.
Okay. So, Mary, let's talk to you, Mary. Okay.
We all know she's right.
And so when I go from Joe to Mary, I match Mary's posture and her body's language.
So what if she's sitting like this?
Then I'm going back like that too.
Oh.
So if she's sitting like me.
I marry that. I do this. But I do it very subtle.
You
It's
don't
really-
do it. You don't do it feminine.
No,
I'm just being practical.
I mirror and match.
Yeah.
Here's what's cool about NLP, and when you know you got the right juju, and you can test this during the meeting. During the meeting is when you move, like you break the position that she's in, and then you kind of do this. And when she does it, you got her in the palm of your hand. That's how you test where you got the rapport.
If they move back toward you.
Pardon me.
If they move toward you, because now you're in control.
Because when they match me, that means the rapport is clicking. Everything's rocking. Oh man, it's so funny. I do it when I'm doing like interviews with people if they're in the office. I do a number of things to make sure I'm talking to them how they like to be heard, or how they like to hear information. It's a whole nother thing. But then I test the body language thing. So I had this guy. This guy came in to do an interview, and so he was kind of slouched along the chair. So I was slouching a little bit like he was slouching. And then we just had this long conversation. So I said, I think in my mind I'm going, this is going good. So I go, so tell me. And you know what he did? He did exactly the same thing. It was like really cool. I go, I got this guy. I totally got this guy. This guy's in the palm of my hand.
That's fun.
It's really cool. It's a great way to manipulate in a positive way. But I do solid, and I think I learned this when I was picking up chicks and parties. You know? It was like this natural thing I had. But really, I had this. I kind of knew how to do this, but NLP told me why it was working the way it was working. You know, I was always asking people about them. Always, when I was dating girls or I was trying to, get to know girls at a party, I'd be all over asking them all kinds of questions. And they would talk all about themselves because people love talking about themselves. And they would think I'm the greatest guy. They don't know anything about me, but I'm just like asking questions. So tell me about, it's like, wow, that's so awesome. I tell them a little bit about myself to draw a bridge to them, and then I ask them more about them. I'm all about that. But that's the NLP thing is all about that part. So the pain is making her sweat. You kill him off and getting it to where, yeah, really.
The day before or then?
No, it's like the next day. So I do scenarios.
Yeah, do your little scenario.
You like that?
I love it.
'cause
I love
did
it.
Me too.
Yeah. So let me use you, Tara. Okay. So what's your husband's name?
Wes.
What? Wes?
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't talk to you.
No, it's
I'll talk
okay.
to you.
I'm already asking.
How did you guys meet?
At a bar.
Really? What did he say to you?
He didn't say anything to me except the waitress to me with the drink, and I said if he wanted to buy me a drink, he'd bring himself.
Oh my God.
So when you turned 21, and so he brought it over.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. How do you ask you to marry him?
He took me to look at rings, and he told me to pick two that I liked, and he was going to pick one. So I picked the ones I liked, which were much smaller than what I got. And he picked one he likes, and it's right there.
That is an awesome.
And then we left the mall, and I didn't know he got it, really. I mean, I wasn't sure. I was doing other stuff, and I didn't know he got it. And we left the mall. We went to Best Buy to get him something else. And we went inside and came back out. And we were sitting in the car, and he pulls it out of his pocket and says, "So, are you going?" I was like, "Yeah." It was just very kind of chilled. And then we went to dinner afterwards, and here we go.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so here's how I do it. I'll say, okay, so Tara, when does Wes usually get home from work?
Between 6 and 7.
I need to sit down for this. Between 6 and 7? What does he do? I'm not talking to Wes right now.
He's an IT director.
He's IT director? Okay. So, Between 6 and 7. All right, so let's say tomorrow, you're expecting him home between 6 and 7. And you don't hear from him, so you expect him, and all of a sudden it's like 7:30, now it's 8 o'clock, and you're wondering, where is he? That does usually inform you if he's going to take another side trip and then get home late. He does. Okay, he doesn't tomorrow. And then now it's like 9 o'clock p.m., and now you're wondering what all's going on. And so you are now getting that weird feeling in your throat that something might be wrong. Is there a friend of his at work that you talk to that you know? Okay, so you don't even have anyone to call whether or not he left work.
He's the last one left there every day.
Really?
And for hours by himself. I just keep hours.
Okay, so it's 10 p.m. And now you're getting a little bit worried. And you're wondering, maybe he went over to a buddy's house. So you call the buddy and he's not there. Okay, that's like 11 p.m. You're just kind of control panic. You don't want you have kids? Okay, so you don't want the kids to get alarmed, do your normal routine, okay? And then you hear a car roll up the driveway, and you think it's him, but then you see blue and red lights flashing in the living room window. Then you hear a big rap on the door, and you have that, oh my God feeling in your throat. And then you open the door, and it's the state trooper saying that they need you to identify your husband because you got hit head on 35 here by a drunk driver. So now he's gone. Not only do you lose him, you lose his income. Okay. It's tough for the family. But the bills keep coming. And when's your mortgage payment normally due?
I don't know.
Say the beginning of the month? Okay, let's just say the beginning of the month. And then your husband, Wes, is trying to say, Wes, you can't say anything, Wes, because you're dead. You can't say anything, Wes. You're dead, man. You're gone. So, so I'm sure you probably have a lot of savings to be able to pay the mortgage for the next year or two.
Yeah.
Well, you probably have family that'll help chip in on the mortgage. I'm sure he probably has some 401k money that you could at least keep the mortgage payment going.
I don't.
How long do you think you can stay in the house?
An honest answer, or you want me to answer the way you want?
I don't care.
Say an as long as I want to.
Okay? Well, then, why am I here then? I don't understand.
What did you say? Okay. I was saying, I don't.
So you're going to be okay when he dies, financially?
I would think so. I mean, it would help have less policy, but
Okay. Well, I don't want to waste your time. I mean, why did you fill out the form? Kind of confused then. Why did you guys fill out the form?
he filled it out.
You did? Okay. Well, if you're going to be okay, then I probably need to move on.
No, we need life insurance. He needs it.
Well, I'm confused. He needs it? On you?
Not on him.
But you said you'd be fine when he dies.
I will, but the kids won't be.
Oh, we're talking about the kids.
Mhm.
Okay. So you really care about your kids, too?
Mhm.
Like, what do they need?
College paid for, food in their mouth for the rest of their lives, but, everything.
Oh,
School closed. School
so,
fees.
okay, because you kind of confused me there. You said that you were going to be fine if he died.
Well, I guess in all reality, I probably would.
Well, okay.
Not financially.
You would or you wouldn't?
I probably wouldn't, actually. Not what do you think? I wouldn't.
Okay, now here's what I'm doing. People use wishy-washy words. It's like, please define yourself. In your mind, people say, well, we'll be okay.
Yes, they do.
What does okay mean? We're not going to be okay. What does not okay mean? Tell me. You're going to be okay. But your kids aren't going to be okay, so I'm confused. Now, notice what I did. I'm like trying to find it. I'm ready to leave. If I don't get it here, I don't have nothing. And I'll be happy to leave. I don't want to waste any more time here. If she's like giving me stuff, now all of a sudden it's like children. Oh, you're children. How old are your kids?
6.
So you're going to be okay as far as them living in the house, but do you want to go to a good school after high school? Like Sinclair Community College, or you want to go to like a real university?
I would like them to go to a real university. There's
Oh.
nothing wrong with Sinclair, but
Sinclair's great. Well, I'm not saying anything about Sinclair. I mean, if Sinclair's good enough, then we probably don't need to talk because you probably can afford to send it to Sinclair, right? Not by yourself? Okay. So what's a good school cost these days?
50
$10,000? 50 grand, what, for the entire 4 years?
no, for a year probably. I heard somebody say
I just spend
that.
that.
50 grand a year? That's what, today's dollars or when they go to school?
Today's dollars. That's good. Not when they go to school. That's all.
Oh. So I'm sure that, you know, what, be 50 grand when they go to school, or is it going to be more?
I would think it'd be more.
How much do you think it would be for a good school?
By the time they go to school,
Yeah.
I bet you it's upward of 80 grand a year.
80 grand a year?
I guarantee it.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now notice, I'm not asking her how, I'm not telling her it's going to be 80 grand a year. She's telling me. Like, who's doing all the talking here? Taylor's doing it. 80 grand a year, oh man. You have 2 children? So, 80 grand. So how long do you think they'll go to school? 4 years or 5?
I'm hoping 5.
Yeah, some kids don't get out in 4 years. Okay, so let's say they do the 5-year program. 0, 0, 0, 0, 5 times 8. Okay. Now you have 2?
Mm-hmm.
You want 2 to go to school or just 1?
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Both? By the way, I don't use a calculator. I write this down in front of them. Why? I'm taking all my time to be very dramatic. I want to write this 0, 0, 0, 0. That's 800,000.
And a lot of zeros.
So you think with 800,000, you could be assured that they'd have a good future?
Well, it doesn't ensure it, but it sure gives me a good head start.
Okay, and you want to give your kids a good head start. They have a great mom.
Thanks.
And dad. So I want to, like, you know. But Wes is in heaven, so got a great mom. Okay, so 800,000. So we got your mortgage paid off. Your mortgage is going to be paid for, or what's the state of your mortgage? You can still make the mortgage payments? How much is the mortgage payments?
I know around there. I think they're around.
Okay. Say 1,100. So on your income, you can still make 1,100 payment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you still be able to eat?
I don't know about that, but I can make more.
Okay. All right.
Those have low fares. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Well, so it sounds like we need to do something here. Maybe?
Okay.
Yeah, meaning
Yes.
yes or...
Yes, we do.
Okay. Okay, well, that's why I'm here. Okay, I'm going to help you figure this out. Wes, okay, you heard what Tara and the kids are going to have to go through. So I think, okay, Wes, you're alive now. Okay, Wes, you can talk. Tell me, what do you think about Tara going through all, and the kids having to go through all that without, you know, they might have to take a trade, go to trade school, or, you know, work at Jiffy Lube or something like that, but maybe with some money they can have a better life. Let me ask you, is that something you want or not? I'll bring him in. If I don't hear what I want to hear, it's like, man, I'm taking off. I'm wasting more of my time. That's how long this has taken. This is where it happens. It doesn't happen anywhere but here. It happens here. This is where it happens. Here's what I get from people is that they go, well, Alex, I feel really uncomfortable. Well, remember the bond and rapport and the mirror matching? You're supposed to feel uncomfortable. The whole reason for the mirror matching is you to feel what your client's feeling. You're supposed to feel the tension. You're creating pain. So you should feel uncomfortable. Well, Alex, I don't like how the way it makes me feel. Well, then you're being selfish. So don't do this anymore. You shouldn't be doing this. You should be going out there helping families because obviously you don't care enough. You care more about how you feel than how they feel. So, stop. Get out of this industry because you don't need to be selling with us because we're going to find people that care more about the client than they do about how they feel. I'm not kidding. Right? If you're not willing to go that far, then God, you're in the wrong business. Get the heck out. Go work at Walmart where you can just stock shelves and not care about anybody.
Listen to music.
Yeah, listen. I'm sure they'll pay you to do that stuff.
Yeah.
You see where I'm getting? It's nothing happens until you really get this. If you're trying to sell without this, then oh my God, you're just hoping. Why did they cancel on you? Because their pain isn't strong enough to justify a $300 a month payment. That's why they cancel. Or you didn't really do the post-sale part. Okay, so let's go. Okay, find the upfront contract. This is where you tell them, okay, this is what happens next. This is how you get rid of the think about it. Okay, you go through this. Okay, Joe Mary, that's why I'm here, to make sure, Joe, that this never happens to Mary. All right? That's why I'm here. The key transition is that's why I'm here. So you take the pain and you tell them how you're not going to, whatever, you're going to let them, you're going to solve their pain, and you say, that's why I'm here. So what you did was, sometimes I like to anchor that with someone, you're not going to be, but Joe will be sitting next to me. So let's say, or Wes. Wes will be right here, and you'll be over there. I say, Joe, that's why I'm here. Okay, this is a powerful thing called an anchor. Okay, every time, that's why I'm here. I'm going to help you. Okay, so what I've anchored here by doing that, or when I do that, is that every time I touch that part, it's this, I've anchored the helping. I'm helping you. That's why I'm here. I'm going to help you guys. So every time I do this, that feeling of helping, that's kind of an advanced technique, so you don't have to remember that one. Okay, upfront contract. This is what's going to happen next. And I like to draw it out. I'm big on drawing things out. So what we're going to do here, Joe, is what I'm going to use, I'm going to lay out 3 options. Okay, 1, 2, 3. You're going to pick one that you like, one that you can afford, one that will take care of Tara, Wes. Make sure Tara and the kids are going to be taken care of. I'm going to have 3 options. You're going to pick one. When we pick one, then we're going to fill out thing we call an application. Okay, we're going to request to see if we can get you qualified. Right? We're going to fill all this out, bank information, and so on, and we're going to send it to the insurance company. Okay? Now, here's the thing. I would love to give this to you, but I can't. Okay? Because the insurance company has to think about you first. So tonight's not a think about it night, because they got to think about you. So there's nothing to think about. I have people, Joe, Mary, I got people telling me they want to think about it. Oh my God, there's nothing to think about. Does that make sense? You can't think about something you don't know you have, right? Right. Why would you even think about it? We're just going to find a price that you can afford and the need that you have that'll cover your need. And then we're going to let them think about you. Now, they might take 1 day, 2 days, a week, 3 weeks to think about you to determine whether or not you deserve to have this, based on your health, based on a lot of things. Okay? And it's important when you fill this application out that you're as accurate as possible, because they have this database thing that they're going to check. And that database, they know all about your health. So if you don't fill out this thing with everything that you know that's wrong with you, they're going to think you're trying to hide something. And when they think you're trying to hide something, they won't approve it. So Joe and Mary, is that important? It's important that we're accurate, right? I like to see this how you get rid of people lying to you. Okay? So the insurance company, what we hope is they're going to approve it. So when they approve it, I'm going to bring it back to you, and I'm going to open it up. And here, at this point, when I deliver it to you, this is when you think, number one, can we afford the rate? Number two, should we raise it to cover more, or should we decrease it to cover less? This is where you make that decision. This is where you think about it after you get it in your hands to increase it or decrease it. But at least you know you got it. Okay? Now, in the past, I wish they approved all of them, but you know what? They may not approve it. They may not approve it. Okay? In which case, if they don't approve you, then I'm going to come back, and I've got other companies that we can take care of you with. But I'm going to try to get you the best shot first time through to get you the best rate. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. All right. So if they don't approve you, you're not going to get mad at me, are you?
No.
Okay. You're going to let me back in your house, and I'm going to find something else that will cover you. Because I've got 13 companies. You saw when I showed you all those companies. I got 13 companies that we can help you. So this is just a, preliminary. This is going to be, you and I are going to be working through this to get you the best program, right? Okay, so does this make sense, Joe and Mary? You okay with this? You good with that? Does that fit? Does that fit what you're looking for? I don't care how many ways you say it. You lock it down. You lock it down here, then everything else is like monkey stuff.
You get a lot of, well, wait a minute. Because you got to the paint. So you probably don't.
Well, here's the reason why you get hold on. You know what you didn't do? Is you didn't do something here. You went forward, kill that cat.
I thought I left them at home.
Yeah,
You moved,
that here.
you moved forward sooner than you thought you
Yeah.
could. You didn't lock this compartment down. So what that means is you got to go back. If they say, well, I'm not sure about this, we really wanted to think, oh, I'm confused. Now you got to go back to either here or here. It's usually, I go back one more step. Well, I'm confused. You heard Tara, Wes, I'm confused. I thought you wanted to make sure. Well, yeah, I just wanted to, but we still don't know if we can afford it. Absolutely. That's why I'm here. You choose the price, not me. You get to choose what you, well, I'm not sure what I can afford. We want to make sure it's in our budget. Oh, that's great. Can we talk about that? It's okay to talk about that right now about budget? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's talk about budget. So this is my budget thing. Joe and Mary, Wes and Tara, how is it, Joe and Mary? Okay, isn't budget really your priority of how you spend your monthly paycheck? Right? So roughly your total income is how much per month? Let's just say it's like $5,000. So really, isn't a budget a priority? Like you've got the, part of the first things you want to pay, and then you've got the line of the nice to have and do, if you have anything left over, and then there's the one that cannot do, right? Would you agree that a budget is pretty much a priority, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when that $5,000 comes in, what's the first thing that you got to pay? That's the most important thing to you. Mortgage? Okay. Mortgage. So you're talking basically about your house. That's important, right? So I'm going to draw your little house here. Okay. And what's the second thing that's important?
DPNL.
DPNL? DPNL. Because you want to be warm in the winter and cool in the summer, right? Right. What's the next thing in the order of importance?
Food for the kids.
Food? You guys have car payments?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Okay. So car payments?
Just one.
No car payment. All right, so you got a car. Let me draw Patrick.
Yeah, we're getting ahead of this.
Are you allowed to embarrass your downline?
Actually, that's a snail on wheels, just like Clarence. Now, I'm surprised. Isn't cable like up here somewhere? Like, isn't it like NFL Access? West, NFL Access. Come on, man. That's like should be number one. I try joking, stuff like that. But you get what I'm saying, you know. And you're going to kind of, and then there's the nice to have, like vacation savings. And then there's just some stuff you can't do, right? Okay, so let me ask you, isn't part of your mortgage, do you, like if your house burned down or got a flood or someone ripped you off, don't you have something that, what do you have to like protect you against that?
Mortgage insurance.
Insurance? Oh, so you want to protect the house with insurance. Okay, now car, like you got a wreck, you have like that stuff that, what do you call that?
Insurance.
Insurance? Oh, insurance. I gotcha. Now I'm kind of curious, the missing piece here is who makes the $5,000 possible per month? Is it Wes and you?
Right now.
Wes? Huh, so on the most important thing, mortgage, you got insurance. On the other important thing you got insurance on the cars. So that mortgage, that insurance stuff is above this line, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically when we're talking, does it fit the budget? When you say that, you're talking whether it's here or here, right? So how come, I'm curious, why is the insurance up here? It's not, did you have to wonder if the insurance was in the budget or not for the house or the car? I just shut up. And I'll let them figure it out.
That is so good.
So really what you're talking here is maybe pizza. Maybe the pizza, you know, instead of 5 times a month, maybe it's 4 times a month, and the pizza, the other 5th one drops down into here, and then all of a sudden, insuring your husband goes up to maybe number 0. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So figuring out the budget is more pizza than it is protecting the person that makes the budget possible. Does that make sense? So it's not really a budget thing. It's really a pizza thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Like
good.
pizza.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you get rid of that one. But by the time you get here, it's not think about it at night. Bang, 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 boom. All right? Okay, post-sale. Okay, so some of you guys will end up on this. The post-sale part, you tell them about the callback, and then you call them back. Let me do this one real quick. This is the push the check back. Okay, so this is the push the check back. Is the that's the proverbial last slide, second to the last slide. Okay, Joe and Mary, do you feel good about taking care of family for $125 per month or $386 per month? Okay, now it's not, you just don't ask that question the way it's written, okay? Because what you've done, do you think by the time you get here, after you've gone through bond rapport, paying, all this stuff, you've created a relationship. Like there's this relationship now. You got the emotion out of them. You're solving their problem. They committed to a price. You told them what's going to happen next. Okay? So now it's like, so what we used to do is we would take the check. We used to collect a real live check. And then this is what I used to do. I would like put it all together. Then I put the paper clip up and I put the paper clip in. And then I'd stop. I go, I like staring at it. And they're like wondering, what's he doing? So I pull the check out. I look at it. I turn it around. I push it back at them. And I say,
Joe and Mary, you see that $125 check? That's your commitment to take care of your family so that none of that stuff would happen to you, right? Okay, now, look, I'd love to take it, but I won't take it unless I know that you feel comfortable with that $125 a month. If you don't feel comfortable with the $125 a month, I want you to take that check and rip it up. Because I don't want to walk out of here with something that you don't feel comfortable with. So, Christmas is coming. Gifts, and you're going to have bills in January because maybe you overspent for Christmas. All of a sudden, you know that that is coming out of your checking account on the 5th of every month. Are you going to look at each other, and then are you going to call me and tell me that it's too expensive, you can't afford to protect your family anymore? Oh, shut up. Summer vacation. You don't have quite as much in the summer vacation fund as you'd like. You know this $125 is coming out on the 5th. Are you going to want to call me? Are you going to say, Mary, hey, call Alex and tell him that we want to cancel that insurance policy? Is that going to happen? Now shut up. I'm trying to get them to resell me that they really want it, right? Anything you think of why you would want to cancel this next week, like 2 days from now, 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now, 2 years from now? Can you think of anything why you don't think this is important, as important as paying your mortgage insurance, your insurance for your house, insurance on your car? Is there anything you can think of? Because I don't want to walk out of here with $125 and then you're going to call me tomorrow and tell me that you don't want it. Then I shut the heck up. And then I'll wait. I'm not going to leave there until they say, no, we're going to do this. Okay. Now we don't have checks, okay? But you got to verbally do that here, because you got to go into it. But Alex, what if they tell me, no, they don't want to do it? Oh my God, that's what you want to hear. You want them to tell you they don't want, it's too much. Yeah, it sounded good, but thinking about our budget, no problem. Remember option 1, where it's like $75 a month and would still take care of you and your family? You know what? Let's do that one. Would that make you feel better to do $75 a month instead of $125? You're going to see a sigh. Yeah. Right? So you don't get that call saying, me and my wife been talking, right?
Yeah.
Me and my wife been talking, we can't afford it. You already dropped it down. You made them feel better about you. You made them feel better. That's why you do 3 options. They usually pick the middle one. They sometimes will do the high one, but it's usually the middle one. Then you got somewhere to go. You already showed them where they can go, right? And if you're getting a lot of the cancellations, you're not doing this hard enough, and probably not doing this hard enough. Does that make sense? And sometimes the reason why you're not doing this well enough is because you didn't do this good enough. Do you see how it all cascades back? You can't find the real pain in a very personal way until you've got good bond and rapport. Well, they trust you to ask hard questions. Right? It all starts here. This builds on that. This builds on this. This builds on that. This builds on this. You see how that works? And whenever it's blown for one of these 5 reasons, and you can point to the box that you blew it in. See, it's a great way to self-coach, because when you think about it, it's like, God, you know what? I didn't do that bond. I sucked at that pain. I didn't ask enough questions. Or they didn't have enough pain. I tried to fake myself out, getting out of there thinking that a single 25-year-old who had to figure out who he'd leave the money to. I was like, oh God, seriously? You tried to write a policy on a 25-year-old who was trying to figure out who to leave the money to, and you think you had a good policy? Don't fool yourselves. That's the 13th commandment. Thou shalt not fooleth thyself. All right? If you think you've got a sale, you ain't got a sale. That'll be the first guy that cancels, because he's going to, when you're done, he goes, why do I care if the bank forecloses on me? So you know who should ask that question first? You. You guys get into pain. It's like, Joe, you're 25 years old. You got a house. That's awesome. You don't have a wife. You might have a girlfriend. You have a dog. Let's just... Why are you doing this? Just have another bill? I mean, why do you care if the bank forecloses on you? You're going to be dead. But Alex, you're talking him out of it. Oh my God, yes, I am talking him out. I'm talking him out of giving me a chargeback to my commissions.
That's right.
I'm talking him out of making my day suck because he called me back. And you know when he calls me back and tells me you want to cancel? I knew in my heart that he was going to do it anyway. He's just confirming what I knew was going to happen. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. So don't even try it. Don't try to think you had a sale. So you say, why does it matter if the bank forecloses on you? Well, I guess it doesn't. Oh, good. Makes my job a whole lot easier. Before I go, let me ask you one more question. If you got disabled and couldn't pay your mortgage payment for 6 months, would that be a problem for you?
Awesome.
If you became critically ill and couldn't make your mortgage payment, would that be a problem? See, so what you did was you found pain, but you found it in a different area, right? In a different area. It's real important. So like that single guy who doesn't cares when it's about living benefits. And that's why you should have your health insurance license if you had to pivot to a disability-only policy. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Cool. That's it.
That was awesome.
I got a question.
Yes.
So, going into the pain part, like when you start the scenario, what do you do to transition into that? I mean, what's the one line or whatever? 'Cause you might have said it.
You know, it's really what happens here when you move from. I have not done that part. I didn't really teach you that part because I only have so much time. But it's going from the I do a T-bar thing here that transitions me to the what if. So that's the transition. So once I find out about them, how much money they're making, I find out who has the problem. Like I find out who's making the most money, and then I worry about him. I talk about him, like covering him typically. It could be her, but I'm looking at covering him, and I talk about the pain for him, covering his wife. And this is where I start asking these questions. Okay, I kind of transition there. And when I show them the quotes, I only quote the person I'm concerned about, right? I don't quote both. I only quote the one person. Now, guess who tells me that they want both quoted?
They
do. I don't. I'm not going to try to show them something that's like $250 a month. I want to take care of the person that has the worst problem. Mm-hmm. And then they're the ones that bring up, well, how about Mary? Here's how it comes out. Well, does that price include Mary too? Oh, you want to cover Mary? Joe, I just wanted to cover you first. You know how much it is now? You're good with that price? Yeah, I want to know how much it'll be to cover Mary. Well, they just gave me permission to quote them more. Right? Mm-hmm. But I'm just going to take care of the first person. I'd rather walk away with something that I know is a done deal so overwhelming with an expensive premium payment that they don't want any of it. Right? I'm going to take care of the first. See, and that's where the pain part. Okay. Again, I have a natural transition to get into the pain, but I'm not going to teach you that thing. I can teach it later. Okay. What?
You're amazing.
What? It's on a video, actually. I did that last. It's on YouTube. So I did that. That transition's on YouTube. I did that.
I think I watched that 3 times, 4 times.
That one?
I love that video. I need to watch it 500 more
got to watch
times.
that.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I didn't even know
Chris
it
has
was
been
there.
telling me that.
Yeah.
You're flawless at it. I just need to. That's so great.
This is like, you make it look so, it is easy.
It's simple.
It's simple, but you got to remember this is a skill, and you have to keep.
That's what I'm thinking is
keep
that
practicing it. It
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
just It doesn't just come, it comes from practicing. But the practice will give you confidence to start getting bolder and telling them how this is going down because you're the one that knows how to take care of their problem.
This is the best ATM training I have ever
Come on.
had. I'm
It's
not
only
joking.
part of many that's out there.
It's so good.
All right, man.
You're pretty dang good at it.
When people come up to you and just feel like they've known you for like a long time.
It is weird. It's good because they come up and say, I know you. I've watched all your videos. Really? 296 videos?
That's a lot of
You see
videos.
296?
Actually, we are not done yet.
Okay.
Pat